Hello and welcome back to the Stronghold. I am the Magi, but this is not midweek magic. Don't let your eyes fool you. It's not midweek, but I do still want you to play some magic. This is the new starter deck duel that is supposed to be the new enhancement for the new player experience. And well, basically all they've done here is taken last year's midweek magic event that introduced the new player experience decks, and they made it kind of a permanent fixture. And my guess is they'll continue to update this from year to year, and it gives an incentive for new players to play it. Of course, for us longtime players, it's still an opportunity to get 2 free rare or better ICRs, and if you're so inclined, a cosmetic. So there's no reason not to do it. And hey, you're probably getting paired against a newbie, so it's probably an easy match / opportunity to teach a newcomer how to play the game. So definitely take advantage of this. I'm going to do a playthrough here, and again, don't be surprised if this looks a lot like a new player, a midweek magic.
But before we get into all that, we here at the Stronghold are officially on the road to 1,000 subs. And guess what? When we get there, we're going to give away an account. So if you're part of the 2/3 of viewers that routinely watch my content but haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and get in, player, because we're going to be doing some magic. Now, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, right.
And hey everybody, this is the Magi speaking to you from the future. I actually just finished playing through this event, and there was a couple of important things I wanted to point out. One, your playthroughs on the starter deck duels do count towards both your daily and your weekly quest counts. So certainly low difficulty ways of getting some wins there. And I also discovered a very cool thing. We have been awarded 5 jump-in tokens. I don't know if that was prior to completing the event or as part of completing the event, but they're there. And I suggest holding on to those jump-in tokens for a couple of weeks here until the new mom set comes out. That's a great time to use those tokens. Or depending upon what we see with mom, you might even want to hold on to those jump-in tokens until the fall rotation comes around and we get a shot at a completely new pool of jump-in packs. So just something to think about there. And once we know more about mom, I'll have a more definitive plan and recommendation on that for you. All right, curiosity was absolutely killing this cat, so I logged into one of my other accounts to verify, and you do get the free 5 jump-in tokens regardless of whether you have done the event yet or not. But of course, you should still do the event, and you should give a lot of thought to how and when you use those tokens. In addition, it appears that we get 3 packs, all from the current year. So it looks like whatever they did basically treated everybody like a new player for today. And hey, that's a good thing. 3 free packs is always pretty awesome. In fact, this makes the total value of what you get here, the 3 packs, the 5 jump-in tokens, and the 2 rare or better ICRs, equivalent to about 10,000 gold in freebies. And that's about 2 weeks worth of grinding. So thank you, Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro and all the fine folks behind MtG Arena. That's a rare opportunity that I will kiss your ass. In case you are not familiar, or maybe you just need a refresher because it's been a while, the 10 new player experience decks basically feature each of the 10 2-color pairs. Most of these decks are fairly playable. Balancing Act, Grave Matters, those are ones kind of on the weaker end of things, along with Blossoming Growth. Decks like Angelic Accountant, Spellweaver, Ignite the Forge, all fairly good, with Ignite the Forge being the best of those three. And then you've got very specific tribal decks, Stealthy Subterfuge with its ninja theme, Storm of Blades with samurais, and Strength in Numbers with citizens. All of those are fairly playable decks as they sit, but don't have a lot of opportunity for upgrade. And the deck that is head and shoulders above all the rest, and by far the most playable out of the box as you would do it here, is the Red-Green Werewolves Tribal on the Hunt. That's the deck I'm going to be using today, without a doubt. And in fact, we will be talking about this deck at some length in the very next MidWeek Magic, the first week in April. All right, what do you say we take a walk through the Gruel Werewolves deck here? You start off with your 1-drop Snarling Wolf, just a basic thing to get you started on the board that has a little late game activated ability to give it +2/+2. Of course, you can only do that once each turn, and that really keeps this viable through maybe turn 3, turn 4. After that, this guy basically becomes a chump blocker. From there, we've got Hungry Bridge Wolf that gets +1/+0 and trample if you control another wolf. And believe me, you probably will, even if you didn't play the Snarling Wolf on 1. The Lambolt Harrier, a 2/2 for 2. This is one of those cards that I tend to drop out of the build. The 4 mana target creature cannot block this turn is just not that great of utility. Outland Liberator is a 2/2 that lets you destroy a target artifact or enchantment by paying 1 and sacrificing the creature. This is very nice, particularly in the current standard meta where enchantments and artifacts are really everywhere. Packsong Pup is really your ideal 2-drop, a 1/1 wolf creature for 2 mana. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control another wolf, and again, you probably will, put a +1/+1 counter on Packsong Pup. When it dies, you gain life equal to its power. This is one of the cornerstone cards that I would say is what you most want to upgrade fairly quickly on this. Really good stuff. From here, we've got Kessig Naturalists. I think this is kind of an overrated card in today's meta, although it was fantastic when it first came out. 2/2 lets you ramp into your 3 and 4 drop, but ideally you want to cut this and cut those higher mana curve cards up here and just really get a much leaner and meaner deck. Unnatural Moonrise, this is a cornerstone card for the standard version of the Werewolves deck because it allows you to make it nighttime on demand. It also gives a creature +1/+0 and trample until end of turn. And when said creature deals combat damage to a player, you get to draw a card. This is game breaking, and the flashback ability to cast this a second time from the graveyard makes it even more so. I would definitely add 2 more copies of this as soon as you possibly can. Moonranger Slash is your signature removal spell, 3 damage for 3 mana at instant speed. That mana cost goes down to 1 red mana if it's night. Doesn't get much better than that. Reckless Stormseeker is your ideal 3-drop creature here because it can give itself +1/+0 in haste, making it a 3/3 hasty creature on the 3rd turn. It, of course, transforms when it's nightbound into a 3/4, and the combat step bonus increases to +2/+0. This is particularly important because all of your later drops also can gain haste through that trigger on Restless Stormseeker. Howling Moon is one of those kind of borderline cards. It can be really good. It can be a dead draw. Just ends up being a thing. An enchantment for 3 mana at the beginning of combat on your turn. Target wolf or werewolf you control gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Whenever an opponent casts their second spell each turn, create a 2/2 green wolf creature. That can just really fill up your board very nicely. Weaver Blossoms is a 2/3 3-mana werewolf human that taps for mana. I think this is one of the lesser important cards, particularly when you start lowering the mana curve on this. This is mostly in here as an acceleration piece, but if you're topping out at 3 or 4 mana, it's just really not useful. Wolf Strike is another targeted removal spell, 3 mana again, instant speed. Target creature you control gets +2/+0 until end of turn. If it's night, then it deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. So it is basically a bite level spell that can also make your creature stronger if it happens to be during the nighttime mechanic. Tovolar is your legendary signature creature for this deck. 3 mana, 3/3. Whenever a wolf or werewolf you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. That is not a once per turn thing. If you have 3 creatures that all deal damage, you get to draw 3 cards, and that is epically important. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 3 or more wolves or werewolves, it becomes night, then transform any number of human werewolves you control. Very awesome card, and it fits very nicely with the recently released Shadows over Innistrad werewolves because it provides a separate transformation trigger that is not tied to the day-night cycle. When it transforms, it becomes a 4/4. Whenever a wolf or werewolf you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So no change there. The interesting part here is X, red, and green. Target wolf or werewolf you control gets +X/+0 and gains trample until end of turn. That is a game-finishing mechanic right there. From there, I'm going to skip over Fangblade Brigand, really the Child of the Pack, Village Watch, Tireless Hauler, and Burly Breaker. These are all those higher mana curve cards that, frankly, you should cut as soon as you have the ability to do so. Howlpack Piper is kind of marginal. I would say this is the last one that you want to cut, because as long as you do have more of those higher mana curve things in there, this still has some value to help you cheat those out early. Arlen the Pack's Hope, of course, is your signature planeswalker for this. Basically, it can allow you to have flash and more board presence. And the real finisher on here is when it's in night mode for 0 loyalty, it becomes a 5/5 werewolf creature with trample and indestructible in haste until end of turn. That is game breaking. Halana and Alana is the only creature in this that is not a wolf or werewolf, but it is still a really good card. 4 mana, 2/3, legendary human ranger, first strike and reach. So this is your one defense really against flying creatures other than removal. The interesting part here, though, is at the beginning of a combat step, put X+1/+1 counters on another target creature you control, where X is Halana and Alana's power. That creature gains haste until end of turn. Really nice way to just pump up your creatures, and those are +1/+1 counters, so those don't go away at the end of turn. And if you combine this with something like Wolf Strike, giving your Halana and Alana +2, well, now you're adding 4 +2/+2 counters, not 2. So things like that get really, really nice. Also, if you do something like Unnatural Moonrise, sometimes it makes sense to put the +1/+1 on Halana and Alana, because then again, you're putting 3 counters on a creature instead of 2. Really nice things there. The mana base here is pretty unforgettable. A lot of tempo lands that you don't want, especially in that lower curve, faster version of the deck. In some cases, it just makes sense to put more basic lands in there and just drop out some of those commonplace tempo lands. The last ones that I would cut would be the Rugged Highlands, because they do at least gain you life in exchange for the tempo loss, whereas Ridgeline and Racer's Ring don't really have that effect. Particularly in the final lower mana curve versions of the deck, Racer's Ring becomes much less viable because the 4 mana sacrifice it to draw a card becomes less and less relevant the faster this deck gets. Boy, you have got to love that very new avatar going on there. Paksong Pup on 2 is pretty strong. The rest of this is not a great opening hand, but I think I am going to keep it just for educational purposes here. So we will keep it a keepy. I'm going to play the Tempo land as my first land card because I don't have a 1-drop play, so that Tempo loss doesn't really hurt me. You can see the opponent did a very similar thing. Now we want to start doing more broken things, and hopefully I get a 3-drop wolf that I can play in some way. They're off to a very fast start here, and I don't love that. No, wait a minute, that's not going to boost because it's not nighttime, so I don't want to do that. I think we're just forced to pass here. Unfortunately, I needed that 4th land and we just didn't get it. They should attack here. Yep, here it comes. Nice move for them, very strong. We will pass. All right, still no land here. That is most unfortunate. But we will get the ball rolling, pass off up, and start getting some damage here. Another strong card for their archetype. We're going to say no block here. Alright, we do finally get the 4th land, but of course it's a tempo land that just doesn't do nearly enough for us. And again, that 4 activated ability just doesn't do enough for us. So I think what we're going to do here is use our bite spell. We're going to hit for 5. Alright, so they finally had to give up a little tempo here. I think they want to keep this as a blocker, and really I cannot blame them. I might want to go with Burly Breaker here, but Arlen is just very tempting. Yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and go Burly here. Papsong gets large enough that it, in theory, can survive the infantry, so I'm going to swing it if we ever get priority back. Let's see. Yep. You might have pump, you might have removal, just all sorts of things could go on here. And of course we have the big old Burly Breaker to block the infantry if he decides to swing with it, and probably Arlen next turn. And we get to flip. Nice. So I think what we do here then is we pop Arlen. and we swing for a lot by going with the activated ability here. 0. Papsong goes to 5, and they scoop out. Okay, we get our first free, rare, or better ICR. Let's see what we get. Of course, your results will vary. Everyone gets a randomly determined ICR here, just like in a midweek magic event. But let's see what I got today. Ooh, you see that red glow? That is one of the best things to see here on an ICR, because that means I got upgraded to a mythic. And let's hope it's a good one. What did we get? The World Spell. Yeah, not great. But it is a mythic. Obviously, I didn't own it already, so I am pleased to get that, but it could have been a lot better. All right, let's go into game 2 here, and according to our avatar, we do not have a newbie here. And all right, we got some tempo lands. That's a bit discouraging, but we should be able to get down our 2 on time, which means we can get our 3 on time as well. And that should get us right there for Arlen's Hope. That's going to be pretty nice. And well, okay, we got that. But I'm going to drop the Highlands, so I have my green mana to get my Kessig going next turn. That's going to be pretty important. Companion. That will not prevent my Kessig from swinging. That's good stuff. I think we want to do this and some of this right here. They are accelerating. Ooh, now that's an interesting thing here. So I think I want to change up my game plan a little bit. So I'm gonna play the Racer's Ring here tapped. Get my Paxong Pup out there a little earlier, and we will swing our boy here. It doesn't really matter because I don't have anything to do with the mana. We're hitting for 2 there, and we pass. So next turn we have a potential of 5 mana, which means we could drop the Hauler or Arlen's Pack on the early step. We'll see which way we go here. They also have an opportunity to cheat something out here, and apparently they didn't. I'm not sure what that was about. I mean, if nothing else, they could have gotten the land out for free, but hey, that's okay. Alright, so now we're not on that accelerating 5 mana game plan, so probably our best play here is to drop Arlen and do nasty things there. Brigand also not a terrible play. Arlen can protect herself, so I think we are going to do Arlen on the second main. No, I'm going to do it on first main so I can get my wolves. That'll get my Papsong Pup trigger.
Humans and werewolves existed in
We're going to go with the create 2 wolves here. We don't have to worry about the swing back because, again, we've got the wolf tokens to protect Arlen. That is one of the most important aspects of Planewalker, and they protect themselves. And of course he gets a creature that cannot swing this turn, because it just ETB'd. He's probably going to try and swing at Arlen. Oh no, he's going to drop bombs. Okay, what do we want here? I think we want green mana. That feels like the correct thing here. And I think we are gonna plus Arlen here.
Follow the enemy's scent. They're close.
So that gives me 5 mana, and I could just drop a Tireless Hauler on somebody at instant speed. That could be pretty brutal. Alright, so let's pass. I think think we say no attacks here, and we will enter. So Arlen flips. It's very nice. So we can drop this at instant speed as a 7/7. That is just going to eat anything he sends across the table. Okay. Let's see what they want to target here. Probably Paxong Pub. No, they're gonna take a token here. Okay. Oh, they got another thing. Wow. Okay, so now we're a little bit in danger of Arlen getting killed. Unfortunately, I don't have enough mana to drop 2 creatures, so let's pass. Go ahead and commit. Yeah, there you go. Do it up. Let's resolve that. Ruh-roh. Let's see. We will block that and kill it, and we will block that and kill it. So we do lose Arlen here. But we take things off their board. Let's hit with our boy, our vigilance big dog. We're gonna chump block, sure. And I think we go ahead and drop this. We have the option of giving it +1/+0 and first strike until ETB. So it makes a very ideal blocker coming up. Sure. And gain a life. Alright, let's see what they want to do on the combat step. I'm gonna guess nothing. Okay. Okay. They're gonna draw a card. That is really the only net result that they got there. And we'll start our turn. Okay, so Wolf Strike. Pretty strong option there. So we'll say goodbye to one of their things, and we will swing out. And yeah, they're gonna take some damage here. And rather than play the Weaver of Blossoms, that doesn't really help me accelerate at all, I am gonna pass turn. Well, no, I won't flip because I did cast Wolf Strike. So yeah, I might as well play the Weaver of Blossoms here. I was thinking more along the lines of preserving Knight as opposed to triggering it, but that is okay. So we're in top deck mode here, but we're in very good shape as far as creatures in play and having control of the board state. They just get to keep, I guess maybe just drawing cards or whatnot. He's going to make himself a better creature. Totally good. something here. Are they gonna swing it? No. That was, well, silly. Alright, so I think we swing out here. Because they basically have to block my big things. And that means pretty much 4 damage getting through without much problem. We're in no danger of dying on the swing back. Okay. Yep, as expected. We are going to pump this 1 time. And that should make this a one-sided deal. Very nice, like it. We're going to say next. And I think this is we cast no spell, so we should flip here. Yeah. So they are pretty solidly wrecked. They can't even really do much on their soul sisters, or excuse me, sister spirits. Combat Thresher is a nice deal. I absolutely will give it that. Unfortunately, it just dies to Fangblade Brigand. Yeah, that's the +5 ability just does so much for us. Yeah, okay. Resolve it. He gave up a creature to get a creature. Yeah, sure. You are still dead on board, sir. My turn. Yep, okay, there we go. That's our critical second win to get our second free rare. And let's see what we get here. Sulphur Springs, rare dual lands are generally pretty nice additions. I have an unpopular opinion that they are not generally worth your wild cards, but getting them for free is pretty awesome. And I'm going to go ahead and play the third game. Even though cosmetics don't really win you games, they are particularly cool. And for most of my audience on this, I'm assuming if you're still at this point in the video, you're a new player. And getting those cosmetics is pretty darn cool. I think this is pretty keepable. Obviously, we don't have a great, or any 1-drop. We don't have a particularly great 2-drop, but that's okay. We've got a decent mana base. We've got places we can go with it. And we are going to drop the Highlands because that gains us a life over the Ridge that does not. The Ridge is important if you're playing something that cares about basic land types like Mountain Forest, but this deck doesn't actually use that technology at all. I think Ridgeline is probably where we go here. Get that down. What do we... I guess we go Veil. And I definitely want to get down a wolf here. And I guess the wolf that could transform and attack next turn is probably where we want to go. I'm going to go ahead and press the ridge line. I don't think he's going to block. And, okay, he chomped. The danger is he might double block here, but he didn't. Okay. So he saved himself a couple points of damage, and he gets to trigger his Undead Butler, which could be useful things. that not super useful, but okay. He'll probably play that as his 3-drop. About removal. Alright. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Dealing 2 to yourself. That is definitely a thing I'm okay with. Alright, so let's get that down, and we want to puff here and Terrier. Puff will trigger, there's no need to attack, so we'll just hold back here. Hold ready. And there's still not much reason to attack, so we will hold back there. He is getting awfully wide. That is possibly concerning. Unfortunately, I've got to go with that. What do we want to take here? Transforms. Look at the top 6. You may reveal a creature from among them and put it to hand. Okay, so let's see. I mean, I guess Tovolar is probably where we want to be, right? And I think we full push here. I mean, we might lose some things, but that's okay. And I mean, really, we're only maybe looking at losing the Liberator Trap Finder. So we will say next. And if he doesn't block, that's an awful lot of damage he's looking at. I mean, all right. That's a fair trade-off. 8 still on that. That's pretty good. And we get to gain some life. We'll resolve all of those triggers. Sure. Alrighty. Sure. don't think he has the mana to play that. Sure. 2 in the air, 1 less blocker that he has. Okay, so we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. And once again, let's push. We blow up his Gloom Shrieker. And I mean, he has to like gang block the Howler before that really becomes a problem. Okay. That is perfectly acceptable. I think we draw a single card there, right? Sure, conscript, absolutely. That's an interesting little tidbit. That'll be fun next turn. Don't worry about the fact that it is no longer night, because we've got a natural moonrise in our graveyard and we can play that easily. Sure. Sure. Death Cap gets us a wolf. Awesome. We'll resolve that. Oh, we don't even have to play Unnatural Moonrise because Tovolar's going to flip our team anyway. Because we got a whole pack of wolves going on here. We'll pass that. Sure. I think we want to go Reckless Stormseeker. Feels good. Find out his Dreadhound. And yeah, I was going to say I think we pushed for the win, but apparently they saw that coming. So there we go, there was our final playthrough on the event. Now this isn't related to the event, this is just coming from my dailies and things like that. So this is not something you're necessarily going to see here. What will happen is when you get back to this point, it'll say claim prize down here, and when you hit that, that's when you get your cosmetic from the event. And I got a beautiful Search Hacker mech. That is probably one of the cooler cosmetics I've ever gotten from one of these events. So very glad to do that. Of course, once again, your results will vary, and those cosmetics do not give you a playable card, only a prettier version, hopefully, of a card you already own. So that is the overall starter deck duel event, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this is helpful for the new players, and for the old-time players here, make sure you go do this just for the freebies, if nothing else.
Alright guys, so at several points during this video I mentioned that this event is an awful lot like MidWeek Magic, which is an event that kicks off every single week on, well, for my time zone, late Tuesday afternoon, and goes on for about 48 hours. Every single week you can get 2 free ICRs and a cosmetic if you so choose. And every single week, I cover this event with a video detailing either a full deck list that I recommend for the event, a strategy guide, an event guide, whatever, depending upon how the event is set up that week, because it's themed differently every single week. But make sure you subscribe right here to the Planeswalker Stronghold, because we do this shit every single week, and it is one of the easiest ways to get rares added to your collection every single week, week in, week out, 365, 52 weeks a year. Other random numbers that make this sound important. Just do it. Hit the subscribe button. You won't regret it.